To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune.
To get started, you'll need to create a new file in Adobe Animate. We're going to go ahead and stick with the full HD, which is 1920 by 1080, a 24-second frame rate, and you'll click Create. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to create some kind of face with like a neck or whatever. So I'm just going to go ahead and create something. I'm just going to speed through it. I'm not going to show you how to do it. You should know how to use shapes and draw and everything. So that shouldn't be anything that you have to be has to be seen. And then you go ahead and create whatever kind of little being that you want. Again, it just needs to be the face and like maybe like the shoulders starting out there, okay? Oh, one thing I did want to mention, make sure if you're putting things on top of other shapes and you might have to move them, you might want to just put it on a new layer for now. You can always merge the layers when you're done. But for example, if I would have put these dots like I did before on this layer, then when I try to move it, it's going to cut it out of my circle there. Another thing is at the end, after we've done the audio with the lip syncing, we're going to go back and add moving eyeballs. So don't draw you can go ahead and put the eyeballs in there if you want, but just put them on a new layer. Make sure those are on a different layer than the white of your eye, okay? So for example, they can be on the same layer, but just make sure that nothing else is on that layer with it. Again, don't worry about drawing the mouth. We're going to use the templates for that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave it like this for now. If you do have things on separate layers, it is going to make it easier if you choose to animate some of the different features, like maybe his head's going to move a little bit, maybe his shoulders will move while he's talking, things like that. Now what we're going to do is start adding the mouth. So you want to go to File, Import to Stage, and you should already have downloaded the mouth file. Okay, it should look like this, an Illustrator file there. It should have all the layers. Make sure that it says Convert Layers to Animate Layers, and go ahead and click Import. And you'll see that it added all of these different layers here. Okay, so what you're going to do is, starting at this top one, go ahead and select it and come down to the bottom one, which should end with Woo. Hold down Shift and click, and you should have selected all of those mouth pieces. And we're going to right click and select Copy Frames. Okay, so you copy those. Then we're going to go to Insert New Symbol, and we're going to name it Lip Sync. Make sure it says graphic as the type and click OK. So now it took us in this new window. Don't worry, you can still go back to your previous window. To get back to the lip sync window, you'll come here and select lip sync. Okay, so we're here. Now we're going to right click and paste those frames. Okay, so now you should have all those frames right there. So now we're going to go back, and these frames should still be selected. If they're not, select them again, and we're going to go ahead and actually I'm going to select them again on the layer side, and I'm just going to delete these layers. We don't need them on here because we have them over here. Okay, go back to your scene 1, create a new layer. You can call this your mouth. And then we're going to go over here to library, and you should see the lip sync item that we made. So you're just going to drag this right over here. And I know there's a lot of mouths going on. Just kind of go with, I would say, this one. See how this one is probably a whole one there. You don't want it to be so far down that his mouth comes out there. So just kind of get that lined up where you think you want it. You can use your arrow keys to gently move them. Okay, and when you're good with that, we are going to go back to our lip sync. And you probably want to zoom in on your timeline over here. And we're going to leave this neutral here on frame 1. We're going to get the we're going to hold shift and drag it to frame 2. Okay, so this should be blank. This should be dragged to 2. Then you're going to get your D, hold shift, drag it to frame 3. Okay, you're going to keep doing that, holding shift, dragging it over 1. So it kind of just goes in a diagonal way. Hold shift, drag it over, hold shift, drag it over. Okay, till you get all the way to the bottom. Okay, so you should end at 12 because there are 12 different mouths. So make sure you have that. You can tell your ending frame here. Okay, now we're going to go back again. And now we're going to add our audio to the stage. So you can create a new layer. And at the point that I'm making this video, I only have one audio to use. So I might add more audio, and then you have different ones to choose from, but right now I only have the one. So I'm going to go to import to stage. You'll download the audio from the Schoology and just import that there. You can see right here, this is the audio. So you want to be sure to move your audio to frame 2, which will leave your frame 1 of the audio blank. If you don't do this part, it's not going to export correctly. You won't be able to hear the audio. I don't show this in the video because I didn't realize it till after I had already exported it, so make sure you go back and do that. If you're using the to be or not to be, you are going to go all the way to frame 225. So here we are at 225. If you want, you can go ahead and scroll all the way down and insert a keyframe on all of those layers. Okay. Okay. Right now, all it's doing, it looks like, yeah, he's talking, but all it's doing is running. Let me go back here so you can see. All it is running it like this. Okay. It's just doing that over and over again because that's how we have it set up. So going back, we now have to set up the lip sync setting. So we have our mouth selected. We're going to go to object and select this lip syncing. And right now you can see that all of the sounds have just this one thing. So the neutral, is going to stay the same. You're going to click on all, and the file that I created should have all of these in order. Okay, so go ahead and just put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there, 8 there, R, this one here. So this is what these sounds should look like if the character was talking. You know, once you're kind of doing this on your own, you'll always be able to use this if you choose to. It's just a template, but you could always go into, I made these in Illustrator. You can go in and kind of make your own, just kind of mimicking the way that they should look with the mouth open or teeth showing or tongue showing. Okay, then you want to sync with the audio layer. Right now our audio is in 21, so that's okay. That's what we want, and then we'll click done. So now it's going to create the lip sync. And there it is. So this doesn't always do like a perfect job of lip syncing, but it really helps rather than us having to go in and try to figure out which sounds we should put there. So I'm not sure how I'm going to turn this up. I'm not sure how loud you'll be able to hear it on the video. The thing about this is if you start the playhead here in the middle, it may not play the sound. I'm not sure why that is, but if you start at the beginning, it should play it. But if you stop and try to play it again, it's not going to work. You have to just restart it every time. Okay?
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of trouble.
So it's really off. I've done this already like 2 times and it hasn't been that off. So I don't know if it's because I'm recording or what. So let me pause. Okay, so I've realized when I stop screen recording that he plays at the right time, but when I'm trying to show you because I'm recording, he doesn't. So hopefully it is playing right on your computer. Because I can't, as soon as I turn off my video, my screen recording, he is in sync. There will be moments where he keeps talking, but yet he stopped. Like he keeps moving his mouth, but he stopped talking. So what you would do there is you just kind of figure out where that point is. I can't really show you because mine is not lining up because I'm screen recording. But I think it's like somewhere around here. He kind of slows down, he stops talking, and then his mouth is still moving. So what you would just do is you'd either just kind of rearrange these. The neutral one is, of course, when he's not talking. So you maybe would move it back one to that. So you just want to kind of make sure it plays okay. And if you need help with that, I can kind of give you advice on which ones you might need to change. Okay. So assuming we have that done, now we're going to go to our eyeball layer, which is right here. So he says, so when he says that, I want his eyes to start looking over there to the right. So I'm going to insert a keyframe right here on my eyeball. And I'm going to get my eyeballs and I'm going to move them over here. Okay? But if I do that, they're just going to quickly go over there. But I want them to slowly go there, so I'm going to right click and create my classic tween there. And then I want them to stay there for a little while. And I think right here when he starts talking again is where I want his eyes to shift back. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a keyframe there. And I think I will let him start moving his eyes back about right here when he stops speaking. So I'm going to insert a keyframe there because this is going to be where my classic tween is. Okay, so I'm here and I'm going to move these back to the middle. Okay, and create my classic tween here. So here he's going to just leave his eyes to the side and then come back. Oh, I accidentally entered a keyframe there. Let me back it there. So then now I'm going to have his eyes move up somewhere. I need to replay this, sorry. I think I want him to start looking up here. I want his eyes to be all the way up here, and maybe they start moving there maybe a second before, about right here maybe. So this is the one where I'm going to move them up. So I'm going to make my tween here. And then maybe he starts looking straight again. I'm going to let him hold that up a little bit. Move him back. And create a tween. if you wanted to come in and, you know, move his body around a little bit, or his head, bobble it a little bit, or his hair, anything like that, now would be the time to do that. We will have to export this as a media because it has sound, so you want to export video media 1920 by 1080 if that was the size that you did, the entire movie. Your format, H.264, change the preset to high quality 1080. Make sure that you click on this folder and put where you want to save it. If you just leave it, you're probably not going to be able to find it. Okay. And click export. It'll load, it'll give you a notification when it's done exporting, okay? If it doesn't give you the notification, or if that other screen doesn't pop up, it's not finished yet and you won't be able to find it. Make sure that you play your video before you turn it in to make sure that it plays okay. That's it.